Like, okay,
I'm wearing these blue light glasses because I have a zit between my eyes, and I
ooh, oh
figure
dear
that
Lord.
blue light glasses
Yeah.
look better than zits.
All right.
So,
And by
That's,
zit, I think he means third eye.
yeah,
I'm
third
that
not
would
eye,
be
yeah,
sure.
that would be the third eye.
He has a twin brother that's growing in that
yeah,
finally coming out.
exactly.
Horrid.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We we took a little hiatus from podcasting the past couple months. You're the first one back.
Wow.
We Brandon and I both moved. We don't live together, never have, probably never will.
All
But we
right.
both
No.
moved at the same time frame, and we were both kind of overwhelmed with stuff that was going on, and so podcast took a back seat to life.
As will happen.
Well,
So we're
not that there's anything wrong with that. I'd
No.
move in with you any time.
yeah,
I
oh, yeah,
think.
I'd live
I
with
mean,
you. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. I mean,
We could get like
just for not an extended period of time.
Yeah.
bunk beds. We could do karate in the
Oh,
garage.
that
Yeah.
would be cool. We won't discuss who's top or bottom because
Yeah.
that gives other implication.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, not that there's
Again,
anything
no,
wrong with
nothing
that.
wrong with that.
No, not at all. So we want to jump into what is this connection between you, Chicago, and Sweden? Is it
And Sweden. All
right?
right.
Well,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first
What's her
question
name? What's
is,
her name, Lamb Dog?
Her name is
what's her
Anna.
name?
Her name is Anna.
We
I
knew
knew
it.
it. We
Yeah,
knew it.
it's a very, very
Always.
traditional Swedish name. And I met
We
the
knew
lovely Anna on Facebook.
Really?
How long have you guys been on Facebook? You guys been on Facebook for a long time?
Since the
Oh,
beginning, I
oh
think.
08 probably. 06.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I remember what was the other one? The first one that first social media platform was
MySpace.
Oh, that was MySpace. Yeah, 'cause I was
MySpace.
on MySpace. I didn't even want to migrate over to
Yeah.
Facebook, and then finally, when MySpace became not a thing, then I actually moved over in like 2008. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I didn't like Facebook at all, but it started growing on me because it had all these apps, these games that you could play. I don't know if you guys remember any of the games that you could play, like the Vampire Wars, the Mafia Wars.
Oh
Do
yeah,
do
yeah,
you
that's
remember?
right.
Yeah, yeah. So um, I ended up playing this game called Mafia Wars, and basically the premise of it was you needed to have a family of like 500 people. So you basically had to have 500 people in your friends list who are all playing this silly game.
Okay,
But
okay.
there was this already built-in kind of community of Facebook people that you knew by either their profile picture, or I think it maybe even listed that they played the game in their profile. But we would just add, like I added 3,000 people, and Anna, who was playing, who's from Sweden, she was playing as well, so I added her, never thinking anything about it, just because I was just adding all these people for my mafia family. So and then we just kind of, I'm not even really sure where we started chatting, but just started chatting, and this went on for maybe a year. We didn't have much contact, but if I ever needed anything for my mafia, I would ask her stuff, and same. And then that was around the time of the advent of the first iPhone, 2010, 2011. So you remember they had, I mean, apps were like a totally new thing.
Oh,
So
it was nuts.
it was
Hell yeah.
completely nuts. Like,
Chaos.
hey, there's an app for that. That was actually a key phrase back then. There's an app for that. So
Yeah, right.
we both had ended up downloading for our new smartphones Words with Friends.
Oh
And
yeah, that was
yeah,
great.
yeah, it
That
was.
was a good
I
one.
mean, it was. If you're a word nerd, if you like Scrabble, then Words with Friends was really, really awesome. But the awesome part about it was that it had this chat function, um, and so you could kind of talk smack or basically whatever with anybody that you were playing with. So we started a game together, and it started out with a little light smack talk with each other, and the conversation just kept going from one game, and then back then it was kind of glitchy. So if you lost a game, both of you would get the opportunity to start another game. So we ended up starting like 6 or 7 games with each other on this, and it ended
All
up at
separate
one time-
games?
all separate games.
Wow.
So it ended up, I think at one period or one point, we had 11 games going on, all with their own little conversations, their own individual conversations. Now,
All separate conversations
all
about
separate
separate parts of your life.
conversations. So yeah, and it
That's
was
love,
really,
Joe.
really,
That's
it
love.
was, dude, it was love. And well, I found myself getting really excited in the morning to wake up and check my words and see what she had
Wow.
typed back, and
That's
because there was
cool.
a considerable time difference. It's like 7 hours.
Sure.
So, I would go to bed and she would wake up, play her games, answer each one of the texts that we had in there, and we just ended up becoming like really, really good friends in the space of about a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. So since then, Words with Friends they've kind of ruined that because if you're playing with one person, you only have one chat. It doesn't matter how many games you guys have together.
Oh, did they lock that down? Huh?
They
I
did
haven't
lock
played
it
in
down.
years.
It's been yeah, and I still play. She doesn't play anymore, but we ended up doing Words with Friends even well after we met. We ended up playing for probably 5 or 6 years, still with our own cute little lovey-dovey conversations and stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean there was light flirting and stuff at the time, but it basically after about a year, she knew I was a photographer, and I was this budding, passionate amateur photographer, and she loved my photos because she could see them on Facebook. We stopped playing Mafia Wars because that just kind of fizzled out,
Hmm.
and she was like, "Well, I live in Europe. I live in Sweden. Why don't you come over and I'll show you around, and you can do your magic with the camera." And so that was like, oh, okay, well, and
Wow.
I worked for United Airlines, so it's real easy for me to get over there. So that
Absolutely.
yeah, so she invited, and we had both made a pact. I mean, we're keeping this on a friendship level, so we had both made a pact. Absolutely no hanky panky, nothing. It was just we're friends. I'm coming over. I was all right with this. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wanted to come
I
over
mean, a little bit in the hopes that maybe. I mean,
yeah,
we
yeah.
are, we are men.
You know
Let's.
what? Because we got along so well
Yeah,
in
you want
conversation.
something. You want that next
Yeah,
level.
and so I mean, there was that little giddy hope, but I was going to remain honorable, and
Of course.
and
Of course.
so I ended up going over to Sweden and met her, and it was like the minute that we met, it was like I had known her my entire life. It was absolutely
Oh,
bizarre.
good stuff.
Yeah, something that I like. It was because the comfortability in our conversations in this game.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doesn't translate when you meet somebody on the internet. You could be
Very
comfortable in
true.
chat all day long, and then
Yeah.
you meet, and then it's just really, really awkward. Well, there was none of
That's the
that.
human condition, right? We put
Yeah,
up these walls when there's
you
online. There's really no walls.
you have a facade.
Yeah.
You have an online facade, and
Yeah. Very
I
true.
mean, and it's not that everybody's being fake. It's just you just have this persona that you
Yeah.
present on your social medias, and sometimes
Yeah.
they don't really jibe. Even if you connect media wise, they don't jibe in real
Sure.
life. Well, when we met, it was just like the conversation flowed, and we ended up spending the week together, and she took me she lives in the south of Sweden.
I was gonna say, is that Stockholm or something?
And
Was it
she,
Stockholm?
well, in the south is Malmö, which is right
Oh, okay.
across from Denmark. It's like a half
Denmark,
hour, yeah,
Copenhagen, all that. Oh,
Copenhagen, yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
killer.
so you can fly into Copenhagen, and she lives literally a half hour away from there.
Hmm.
Um, so we stayed in the south for a couple days, and then we took an hour-long plane ride up to Stockholm and palled around Stockholm for a couple days.
That's awesome.
The entire time, just getting to know each other, and I mean, I'm in Sweden, this absolutely beautiful country, and so I'm getting all these
Yeah.
these great shots, and it was just amazing. And there wasn't any hanky panky, but
Hey,
over the
so
course
so
of
to
the week,
interrupt,
sure.
what time frame was this?
This was 2012.
What
Okay.
did your friends and family say when you were flying over to Sweden to meet a girl you met from Mafia Wars and Words with Friends?
First of all, he called back when he got there. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm not coming back.
Yeah,
Send me
sorry.
shit."
I do not want to. I do not want to come home. Honestly, at this point, because I did work for the airlines, so I had actually had experience meeting other people online. So I had gamer friends who I had met online, like through Xbox and stuff like that. I mean, so um, over the years, I had been kind of bouncing around, just meeting all these people that I became friends with online, and that's where I had kind of had experience with. Well, it's not always the same jibe when you meet in person, but I had had
Sure.
enough good experiences meeting people that um, honestly, none of my friends thought it was weird for me to go, and I didn't feel like it was weird for me to go. So I mean, I was a little nervous going over there because that's a big deal. This is a person that
Sweden.
I've been talking to for a
Yeah.
year
What
and a
about
half.
her friends and family?
I was gonna say, what
Um,
they say? Did you meet any of them? Did she like right off the bat?
No, no. Honestly, I don't think that because I think that was probably weirder for her. So I don't think
Sure.
that she may have told a couple of her close friends, but I
Yeah.
didn't meet any of them then. And
In the event that they don't hear from her for a few
yeah,
days.
yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
hey guys. Well, she put you up too, right? Like
Yeah,
you slept at her place, and
yep,
like the
yep.
whole,
I had
that's what I
separate
love about
beds,
the
and
Europeans. They're
yeah,
awesome. They're
no,
very
and
cool
that too.
about.
The open door policy in Europe is
Yeah.
amazing. Seriously, so come over, and then they'll
Yeah.
actually like put you up. So it doesn't seem
No
weird
strings
to them.
attached.
No strings attached, and it
Crazy.
doesn't seem weird to them. It was absolutely amazing, really.
Try that here in the States. That does not
It
happen.
doesn't. It doesn't happen really.
You end
Because
up in the
there's always like
news.
an ulterior motive. If somebody's going to come over, either I'm going to get some or whatever. But
Yeah.
and this was just a friendship that was just cultivating, and but it was really really evident between she and I after a week of hanging out that there was a deeper connection than just friendship.
And you guys had been you'd been talking for how long now before you met?
At this
Years.
point, it was yeah, 2 years at least.
Wow.
1 year really seriously talking.
Yeah.
Like in the first year when we were playing the Mafia Wars and stuff like that, it was light conversation. We never really went anywhere. It was honestly when we started playing that silly Words with Friends and got to chatting every day. It was yeah.
That was it.
I think we both knew that there was probably something underlying because there did seem to be a deep connection. But once we met, it was just like, yeah,
I'm not coming
We're
back, guys.
I think I love
Words
you.
with Friends, the international love connection.
That is
Look at
and
that.
so it's funny that you say that because I actually did a little back in those days we could write stories on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
And so I wrote the entire story out and titled it what was it?
Words with
Wor-
lovers.
no, it was Words with Friends, an international love story. And
Wow.
that's what I called the post, and it's still somewhere there, archived on my Facebook.
I'm gonna
But it
have to
was
look
a
that up.
yeah,
Lamb
it was
Dog, the romantic.
lamb dog.
Look
Oh
at
yeah,
you.
no, seriously, I'm such a hardcore romantic at heart. So
Yeah, I think we all are. We just
yeah,
suppress it, right? Like we all try to find
yeah,
ways to because it hurts sometimes.
it does hurt. You put yourself out there, you put your heart
Oh
out
yeah.
there, and it's
It's
gonna
tough to
get
do.
crushed. So um,
So
You know,
let's
that's
fast
character
forward.
building
Let's
though.
fast forward 9 years. Where are we at today with Lamb Dog and Anna? Is it now
all
Anna
right.
Lamb Dog?
It is. It's not Anna
Is it Miss
Lambdog
Lambdog?
as of yet. It's not Ms. Lambdog. So,
All right.
with the whole COVID thing, so I've been going back and forth for quite a lot. I was going about 6 times a year, anywhere between 4 and 6 times a year when I would go over with decent amount of time. And it was cool because, working at my job, I had the flexibility to do it. I could give away hours, take a lot of vacation. So we made it work over the last 9 years.
Oh, wow.
It's been really, really hard though with COVID. We ended up going. COVID hit. Okay, I had visited Christmas time, 2019 into
Okay.
2020. Uh, COVID hit, and we didn't realize at Christmas that that was the last time we were going to see each other for 279 days.
And wow.
It was bad. It was really the hardest period, the hardest stretch that we've done um, in this. And we entered the
That's tough.
whole. If you, I don't know if you guys have heard of the whole "love is not tourism" movement.
Yeah.
It was like open, at least open the borders enough for people who are in relationships but aren't married, kind of thing.
Sure. Sure. So
Um,
that was
so
the thing. They were doing that.
it was, and
Wow.
normally I go over. I would go over every summer for about 2 months, but last summer was the exception because well, at least at the time, we didn't think that. I ended up taking the time off, just kind of putting it out there to the universe that if I
Yeah.
take the time off, maybe the doors will open, or at least the doors will open to relationships,
Sure.
and ended up not going because we were a bit ill-informed that because Denmark and Sweden ended up opening the borders for sweethearts.
Ah.
Yeah, but we didn't know that. So,
Oh, wow.
but it was cool because I ended up spending the summer with my sister, who lives in Connecticut, and that actually turned out to be pretty good. So my sister and I
Yeah.
hung out for 2 months, got to know each other really, really well. I mean, we obviously grew up with each other, but we became pretty tight last summer. So that was kind of a
Very
blessing in
cool.
disguise.
So
But
let's talk about that for a little bit,
mm,
and we can circle back to Anna later too.
absolutely,
Um, you're talking COVID, and you were in Connecticut with your sister. Is that right?
yes.
You weren't retired yet, right?
No, not yet.
So um, we're now 15 minutes into this podcast. Joe Lammerman, Lamb Dog,
Lamb dough.
gate agent or ramp agent turned photographer for United,
Hmm.
featured in Time magazine. You are living in Connecticut during COVID. Well, airplanes were still flying. So my speculation is you weren't spending too much time on the concrete. You were more in the photography realm. What were you doing for United in the twilight of your career during COVID?
In the twilight of my career, honestly, because there was absolutely no work for anybody. Really, the loads, our passenger loads, were minimal, minimal, minimal. And so when they had hired me as a photographer at United or made me the permanent in-house photographer at O'Hare, my main mission in life was to capture events, shoot all the events that we have, and also take pictures of people's milestones. Well,
That's
and
cool.
I would go around and take portraits of people who were celebrating 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, and above. So
Wow.
that was my main mission in life. And there were a lot of people. It kept me busier than I'd ever been doing anything else at United. So once COVID hit, we had to cut out all of the all of the events, and we put the milestone thing on a back burner, which was it was really hard. It was really sad, and I honestly
Why would
thought
they have to do that? Because
because we
they
could
people weren't coming to work.
people weren't coming to work.
Okay.
We couldn't do events because
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
whole
events definitely, but
social
I'm thinking the
distancing thing.
milestone.
The milestones, it was there were a lot of people who took COLA, which was the
Oh
company
yeah,
offered leave of absence,
sure,
and so there were a lot of senior people who took the COLA, and
sure.
so basically what I did for from about the end of February until the summertime, I just went around documenting what life was like at the airport in the midst of COVID, and it was very stark looking back. So I mean, look, it really ended up being sort of historian type stuff. Looking
Huh.
back at my photos, just very bleak. A lot of parked aircraft. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So those photos,
mm,
they're not, at least not a bulk of them, are not on your
they're not.
Instagram.
They are
Are
not on
they
my
in like the
Instagram.
United archive? Where do
They
those
are.
photos
They
reside?
are. So I have a whole photo that United has access to, or I have a whole photo on my website that United has access to for all these photos. And so basically anything that I had taken, because I got hired as the permanent in-house photographer in 2016. So
Which you
any
still do now. Are you still their photographer there in O'Hare?
no, because I'm
Oh, okay.
retired. Because I'm
Oh, so
retired.
that's that was
So
had to do with your okay.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
connected.
So yeah, it is all connected. So now I've done a bit of contract work for him, which is great. I would like to do more. Just um, I miss being out there. We'll get to that if you guys
Sure,
want to talk about the
absolutely.
whole retirement
Absolutely.
stuff. So
So let's talk about the beginning of this. Uh, Ramp agent turns photographer.
yeah,
It's like two diametrically opposed career fields.
no, seriously,
Definitely.
it was
How'd
Let's.
that come about?
How's that happen?
honestly all right. So I bought a camera. I bought one of the when during the digital age when it first was introduced in 2005. I bought a little point and shoot camera, and uh, and I would take it to work and take pictures at work and stuff like that. And um, a lot of my friends just really loved the pictures I was taking. Fast forward to 2010, 2011, when the smartphones came out and they all had these pretty decent cameras. Well, I didn't have to bring a camera to work anymore. I started using my smartphone.
So a lot of these are done with your smartphone?
A lot of the ones in the beginning were done with my smartphone.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's pretty damn good.
it was crazy because well, when did Instagram come out? 2011, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
10,
something
11.
like that. And the filters that they had on there was pretty horrible. But
Mm-hmm.
I was taking pictures of the operation. I would mostly take pictures of sunrises, winter operations, and stuff like that. Um, and like there's an editing program that for your cell phone called Snapseed, and it became pretty popular amongst these cell phone photographers. But I learned to do some pretty cool things, some pretty cool editing styles with this Snapseed and my cell phone. I think where it really started to flip and I started using a real camera was because I people kept on calling me a photographer. You're such an amazing photographer. You're such an amazing photographer. Well, to me, that felt really fraudulent because no, I'm not an amazing photographer. I'm taking pictures with my cell phone. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not to me. That wasn't photography. So I'm like, well, I better honestly, I better jump in with both feet and learn how to use a camera. So so I ended up buying a camera and learned everything that I could possibly learn about taking pictures on YouTube and editing on YouTube. So I'm basically self-taught. I never went to school for
YouTube,
any of
you,
this.
man.
YouTube is it's seriously
It never
probably one of
fails
the
you.
it never fails. Anything you
Wow.
need to know, you can learn on there.
Oh,
So
well, so, okay, that begs the question. Canon or Nokia?
Sony,
Uh,
come on, man.
really?
Sony. Oh, I'm a Sony boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Atta
yeah,
boy. Look at that with
yeah.
an audible.
All right, check this out. So I got turned on to Sony mirrorless back in 2009 when they released the NEX5, I think it was. Somebody
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, take this camera to the concert that you're going to. There's no flash, but you don't really need it because
You don't
it's
need it.
mirrorless technology." So I took the camera to I think it was Mumford and Sons, and absolutely
Ooh,
blown
nice.
away by because at that time, Sony was a joke camera, Fuji was a joke camera. Basically, any of the other ones that weren't Canon or Nikon,
Yeah.
they were jokes.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have nobody respected any of that, and mirrorless was such a new thing. So I jumped on the mirrorless thing way early. So my first camera that I bought after that was I think it was the Sony A7S, which was a that was yeah, yeah.
My
So that
buddy
was
shoots with that. He loves it. He was one of those guys too that was like take a I guess all the reviews came out probably, I don't know, five,
mhm.
6 years ago. Now he's a
Oh,
professional photographer and videographer, does everything with it. He's got two now. And these
oh
things
yeah.
go for a
Oh,
pretty penny.
they're expensive. They really are.
Yeah. And
But I just he really
he's doing a
oh that
shoot
would
and it
kill me.
goes into the water and he's like,
Oh,
yeah, he's calling me up, man, just
that
upset.
would kill me. That would
Oh.
really kill me.
Cool
So-
story,
Got another
Brandon.
one.
This is about Lambdog, not about your buddy's
I'm just
phone.
saying, you know, I'm just saying,
we're
I understand
Sony-
his pain
We're Sony guys. We're Sony
in the
guys.
event. Yeah, they just like it just ripped the heart out of him. So I can only
Yeah.
imagine knowing how much these things cost. Well, and that just goes to show how much. I think I call it a Nokia, which I think is a phone. Nikon is the.
Yeah. Now the Americans call it Nikon. If you're in the community, you need to, the Japanese pronounce it Nikon, which is really,
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course
so
they do.
if so,
Well, all right.
you can tell the real camera guys by if they call it Nikon or Nikon. Very
Oh.
very
Yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna go
very
with
very
Nikon.
snobby. Yeah.
And I called it a Nokia. So there you go. That's
That's fine. That's fine.
that
So-
shows where I'm at.
Actually, so
I
Time
s-
Magazine. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go. Okay. Well, so this will probably segue into the Time Magazine conversation. If not,
Yeah.
we'll circle back.
Okay.
Ramp agent taking pictures with his cell phone.
Mhm.
You end up being Chicago's in-house photographer. Like,
Yes.
how does that meeting take place? Does somebody come up to you and be like, "Hey, man, your duties on the ramp are no longer as valuable as the duties you can perform with your cell phone or your Nikon
media
or
or
your
whatever.
Sony?"
Okay.
Like, how did that go? Was that like,
It was a.
did you have to
really-
convince them? Did they have to convince
No,
you?
not at all. And I was completely blown away. So when I was taking these pictures with my cell phone, I was also a de-icer, so I got some really really dramatic de-icing pictures.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so I was, and this was at the time where we weren't really allowed to be posting about stuff about our company. It was during the merge or right before the merge, and we weren't really supposed to be doing this. So I was kind of breaking the rules, but
Sure.
but they let it slide because the pictures that I were taking were very pretty, and I was actually presenting United in a good light.
There you go.
Time Magazine ended up discovering my photos on Instagram, and they messaged me on there. And at first, I was like, "This has to be a scam." But when I
Right.
clicked when they messaged me and said, "Hey, we really like your photos. We're gonna do a story on behind the scenes for winter operations, and we would like to use some of your stuff." The hurdles at the time, just to get that approved, it was pretty monumental. I had to go through like 5 different departments at United at the time just to get this approved. But they ended up not for the hardcover. They ended up using not even a United Airlines picture. I think it was a U.S. Airways aircraft that was being de-iced.
But you took that picture.
I took that picture.
Wow.
But they were all my cell phone pics, and so it was cool. They put me in their hardcover, and then they put me on their online article.
Wow.
But they
Wait,
also did
so
an interview,
you took a picture with your cell phone that ended up on the cover of Time?
not the cover. It was
But in the hardcover, the
in the
hardcover.
hardcover. Yeah.
It was
So
like
when
a
you-
like a
but-
coffee table book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
No. It was their magazine.
Oh.
But when I say hardcover, I mean like it wasn't just online. It was the
Got it.
magazine. But
Actual
it
magazine.
was the first when you open the cover. It's the first picture that's in the magazine. It was
Oh,
like
that's
the
killer.
first-
Gotcha.
Yeah. From
Do you think you're the
So,
first iPhone picture in Time Magazine on the hardcover?
you know what? Honestly, that's a good possibility.
What year was this?
Huh.
2014.
Which edition? We'll get on the Google.
You know
Get
what?
on the Googles.
I can actually look that up. Actually, if
'Cause it
you,
knows
if you
everything.
get on the Googles, Google Joe Lammerman, Time Magazine, and
Okay.
the story will pop up.
All right.
So they put me in their hardcover. They also put me online in an article relating to it, but they delved more deeply into me as a photographer and also an employee at United. So that kind of got me a lot of good exposure when they released it. I ended up getting like in the space of a week, I ended up getting like 2,000 followers on Instagram, which at the time, that was a big deal. That was
That's
really,
viral.
really big. Yeah, it was totally viral. I'm like, oh my gosh. And my phone was blowing up and I had notified every time somebody followed. It was just ding, ding,
You
ding.
the first Instagram influencer that didn't get famous with bikini
Yes.
pics.
Yes. Exactly.
You didn't have to
Exactly.
show off your body in your bikini.
There-
Not that
no,
I'm sure it's
I,
spectacular.
I have archived a lot of posts, so there may be some lamb dog bikini pics. No, but so United started taking notice through that, and I had built up a pretty big United family on my Facebook and stuff like that. So when I actually did the transition from cell phone to real camera, I started bringing in my camera every day. I was not only taking pictures of the aircraft, I started taking pictures of all my friends, and I did this thing. I made it public on Facebook, a day in the life of a ramp serviceman, and I started taking pictures of all my friends, just portraits with the whole United background and stuff like that, and
Nice.
that became wildly popular. With it just gave people like the sense of connectivity to each other, to the job, and
Wow.
that's where it snowballed from. Really was
I'm
that.
kind of bummed you retired because that would be a cool
You and me both.
daily or weekly vlog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
stills, carry around a, you know.
Well, I don't
Absolutely.
think Lamb Dog's done yet. So
No, I'm definitely not done. I would
Good.
love to continue working for United in that capacity, and we'll see where it leads in the future. There are some irons in the fire with this.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, this
super
picture is
excited.
amazing, by the way.
Which one?
January 26, 2014. It's dramatic AF. Like it's got a lot going
And that
on.
was a cell phone, and that was Snapseed and cell phone. Seriously,
Wow.
dude. So I was producing images with that cell phone, and now I look at it and I'm a little cringe because I can tell that it's a cell phone, but
Ah, don't be such a purist. It's
yeah,
fine. It looks beautiful.
total.
Come on.
No, and
Jeez.
I was so honored and so completely humbled. I really did. I did none of this with the expectation that you're going to be a photographer at United Airlines one day. Nah, not at all. I was just doing it because I was passionate about it, passionate about the people that I work with in the industry that I'm shooting in. So 2016, I was reached out to by one of the ramp managers. She said, "Hey, I really, really like your pictures on Facebook. We want you to shoot an event for us, if you can do that." I was just like, "Oh my!" Everything inside me screamed, "I don't want to do this." And I'm like, "Yes, I'll do it," because I knew that this was probably an opportunity I didn't want to pass up. So it was Bring Your Kid to Work Day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was cool. That was my very first shoot. Looking back at the pictures now, I cringe just because my style was very unpolished. I was used to shooting really this dirty industrial environment, and then I went from
Yeah.
that to taking pictures of in like a family environment. But I still
Probably
kind of kept
lighting's
that.
different, like
The
everything.
lighting was way different.
Ah,
I kept that darker edge when it came to, so
yeah.
everything turned out really kind of gothic looking. But
That process though is fun, right? Because now you had to learn
yeah,
a new sector of
yes,
photography.
absolutely. It was. I mean, I had never shot an event before. I had done a couple people's weddings before that, but there was nothing. It wasn't that I was hired professionally. I just went around taking pictures, and they ended up being really nice. But so this was my first actually hired event at United, or really first hired anywhere. So the whole process itself was really really amazing, and I realized if I'm gonna start taking pictures of the events, that I really really need to delve deep in YouTube and Photoshop, Lightroom, which is what I use for
Oh,
the
yeah.
editing process. They're not super self-explanatory, so it
No.
took hours upon hours upon hours on YouTube.
Well,
Yeah,
Tyler might know a little thing about that
yeah.
with this new process over the last couple of months, man. He's been racking his
Adobe
brains on it.
Adobe Premiere Pro is an animal.
It is an animal completely. I
Well,
yeah. I if it would take me an entire lifetime to
well,
even scratch the surface.
just on it in college, right? These
Yeah. Oh yeah.
universities, these
No.
media schools,
Absolutely.
there's whole courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to
Absolutely.
pay for it, or you have YouTube.
Or you have
You have
YouTube U or
YouTube. It's
LinkedIn
the
U. I think
best.
there's some
Oh
stuff on
yeah,
there.
yeah.
If you're not a
Absolutely.
if you're not a doctor, engineer, or lawyer, don't spend money on college.
Absolutely. Unless,
Honestly,
ladies and gentlemen, unless boys and girls, you're getting it paid for by your
Yes.
Montgomery or post 9/11 JIA.
Don't go into
yeah.
debt unless you're going to
Don't
be
go
one of
Don't
into
those
go into
debt.
debt
That's a better way of saying. Don't
on
go
your
into debt.
education unless you absolutely have to. Yeah, because they're
And here's the thing: you don't absolutely have to. That's the
no.
beautiful thing.
Yep, you are correct.
You know what? You're a prime example of that. That's awesome. What you've
Yeah,
been able to do. You have
yeah,
an amazing second career now
yeah,
that piggybacked off your last one, based on
yeah,
the education you've learned just through the experience and getting online and putting in that sweat equity, I guess,
yeah.
into yourself. That's great.
It's been crazy. It's been a terrific ride, really. Something that because I never placed expectations. This is where I would end up, and I think that really helps. If you're doing
Yeah.
something with an expectation of this will be the outcome, doesn't always
How
work
old
out
how
that
old are
way.
you, Lamb Dog?
49.
49.
Yeah,
So you have another, at minimum, 30 useful adult
30
years
years.
ahead
Sure,
of you.
sure.
What are you going to do with those years
Um,
besides travel back and forth to Sweden and
no, I won't be traveling back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Well,
No,
wait a
we
minute.
got a new
no.
chapter in the
That's
books?
Whoa.
this is. I
Let's
mean,
write
that's
this
all.
one.
Well, the whole COVID thing really led up into the company needed to cut they needed to cut the top, the people who were being paid at the top,
Sure.
people who
Sure.
30, 40, 50 years at the company,
Yeah.
were topped out in pay, were topped out in vacation. So it really honestly just made sense for them to offer an early retirement.
Okay.
And yeah, and so the package that they offered me, it's the closest thing in 25, because I worked at United for 25. So
Wow.
it was the closest thing in 25 years that I had seen as a buyout. And
Huh.
it was literally the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life. Joining the
Of course.
military and moving from state to state, these were hard decisions. Because I was doing my passion. I was a paid artist,
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So,
Ooh.
but I knew that my lady and I could not continue to do this whole long distance relationship thing, and I really had to take that into account. And so when they offered this package, I'm like, all right, flight benefits for life. They're going to pay me on the way out. Looks like
I'm
I'm going
out.
to do it. So
Wow.
I will within the next year and a half, be heading over to my love
And that's
my
it,
new
huh?
home. Yeah, man. Yeah. So
God,
I really,
that's
really,
freaking
honestly,
great.
it is great.
Wait,
From a
are you
word
breaking the news right now online?
No,
Right now?
no,
Are
no,
you
no.
breaking the?
Everybody because I put this out pretty big
Oh,
on my
damn. All
Facebook,
right.
not on Instagram.
Uh,
Yeah, no, I mean honestly it just made sense, and it's a very very scary thing. I'm 2 months into retirement. I miss it. I miss the airline industry, sitting outside the fence and doing plane spotting and stuff like that. It's not the same. The passion is still there, but it's definitely not the same.
Do they
Yeah.
have airplanes in Sweden?
Oh yeah,
Perfect.
absolutely. Do they have airplanes? Nope. No, they don't. They barely have inside plumbing.
Well, I think I think to what Tyler's getting at is, I mean, you may have an opportunity over there to just get on with,
Honestly, that
who
would be
knows,
amazing. If I would,
local.
sure. The cool thing about it is with the whole de-icing thing. Um,
Yeah.
with de-icing, our
Well,
trucks,
you're in Sweden.
all of our trucks are right across the bridge, are being made right across the bridge in Denmark. All of our de-icing
Really?
trucks. Yes.
Interesting.
So,
Huh.
can I mention the company's name that
You can
we
do whatever you
use?
want.
Okay,
You
so
can do whatever you want, brother.
Vestigard, they're a huge. They're not. They're basically the name in de-icing equipment. Okay, so
Okay.
Vestigard, and I've tagged them numerous times over the years. So that would be an ideal partnership. I really, really need to get with them on that because I have
Wow.
all these Vestigard trucks in action. Uh, so that would be cool. Maybe possibly SAS,
Oh,
Lufthansa. I mean, any of these. So the possibilities are endless. But maybe I don't want to pigeonhole myself just into the aviation industry because I do take
Now you're
pictures of
talking.
other things too. So
Sure.
Uh,
hopefully it translates to something else.
I want to touch base on that momentarily, but first, what what is Anna's chosen profession?
She is a judge. She was a
Ooh.
lawyer. She was a lawyer when we met. She was writing legislation for the medical industry in Sweden. She came up with a lot of legislation for things, and then she ended up applying for judgeship, um, and now she is a judge in the immigration slash family court. So she's a smart woman. So why she's with me, I have no idea.
Because you're a hopeless
Because I
romantic
am a
with
hopeless romantic and I take pretty pictures. So that's,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know if there was potentially some sort of
it's
professional connection there, but
no,
I
it's
mean,
the
you could take
reason
pictures
that
of
she.
empty
Well,
courtrooms. That's kind of
everybody
cool.
always assumes that she's going to come over here, and it's like no, she would have to come over here, study for the bar, retake the bar, become a lawyer, and have to work
Yep.
herself up. So it was like it just made sense. My career options translate probably a lot better going there. So that's why I'm going there.
Yeah, because you can do photography and photo editing anywhere
Yeah,
in the world.
yeah, exactly.
There's always beauty everywhere.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's great, man. So you have
yeah.
2 pages. You've got lambdog underscore aviation and lambdog underscore world.
Yes. And the world, I don't think it does so well because I think people just like my aviation pictures better. The world is my portrait photography. My United portraits seem to do pretty well on there, but what the base that I've built up, or they're so aviation based that the portrait one doesn't have nearly the traction that my aviation account does.
But you
Are you
enjoy
going to be
it.
focusing more on
Love
that?
it. No, I would have to say I'm more passionate about taking pictures of people than I am taking pictures of aircraft.
Yep.
There it is.
But they just happen to like my airplane pictures better. So
Where do you
For
find
now.
where do you find your subjects?
mostly family and friends.
Okay.
So I've been reaching out to pretty much every shoot that I've ever done has always been sort of either family connection, friend connection, friend of friend, those kind of things. I had built-in subjects um, working in the aviation industry, especially once people started realizing, oh, this guy takes really good pictures of us. So then that was pretty easy. I mean, after a year or two rolling around with my camera on the ramp, I would get lots of requests. Nobody ever said, "Oh, don't take pictures of me," because they liked what I was doing. So I
Yeah.
mean, I for 4 or 5 years I had this built-in base of I could take pictures of anybody that I wanted to and stuff. So
You know what
yeah,
you could do to kind of merge um, those two worlds, especially being in Chicago. You have private airports
yes,
all over the place. I would go hang out in the FBOs and hand out your business card, and as
okay,
people walk in and out, hey, can I take a picture of you next to your airplane?
that's actually
Or,
not a bad idea.
can I like by the airplane out in the FBO, whatever? You're
Yeah,
kind of expanding and merging those two passions, and you know, people love to show that they're traveling that way.
yeah,
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and,
Especially
and
ones
the
that own the plane.
yeah,
right,
exactly.
and the people that travel that way, a majority of them have a great network,
Yeah,
and
Oh,
you might find yourself connected to a network that you never imagined
I
simply
didn't even
based on
consider it.
those potential
Yeah,
connections there.
that's actually a really, really good idea and something that I never even considered. I think I might have to
You'll
look into
learn
that.
over this course of our relationship,
Yeah,
Joe, that Tyler has a lot of good ideas.
yeah,
He
that's a
does.
good thing.
I just don't execute on them.
I just
Well,
barely
yeah,
ever,
yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna mention that. That is the other half of it, but you know.
Yeah. No, that's
We
actually
need you to
that's
execute on them, Lamb Dog.
I think I might. That's honestly something that I never really considered. So thank you
Yeah,
for
there's
the
some
idea.
connection there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I like your photos online, and I plan on buying some. I see that you can put them on canvas, or
Can. And
I
the
got a
metal
big
prints,
space on my wall that needs an airplane.
absolutely. The metal prints that are in my it's on my smug mug.
I was just
Those
gonna
need to
ask you
be
about
moved.
that. What is that process? What does that mean? I guess the metal print.
Okay, so honestly, because I'd never ordered one for myself, but I've had friends who ordered them, so I thought they would come with these like really big, heavy metal prints, but
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like that they're aluminum, but they don't have a metal feel to them.
Ah. So put a
Yeah,
little shimmer in the paint, I guess,
they
or
put a
the.
little shimmer in the paint. There's either white base or
Ah,
clear base, which makes
okay.
it either one makes it really really pop. But
So
the
if I'm going
pictures
for a dark
themselves,
look,
you're going for a dark look, it's gonna
yeah,
pop, but it's gonna be dark. So if you,
nice.
yeah, if you like the dark kind of, because
Yeah,
I do have a penchant for darkness in
dude, I
my
love it. It's
photos.
gritty. I love
Yeah,
it.
that grittiness just it speaks to me. So
Yeah.
this actually the metal prints actually make that really pop and
So then,
yeah.
what's the difference between the clear and the what was the other one?
There's a clear and then there's a white base, and I think the white base makes it pop just a little bit harder.
Okay.
Yeah, the clear base just makes it a bit a bit more flat, but
Okay.
still both of them are really really nice.
Well,
Um,
I'm excited.
I am excited too, but no, the first time I had one, somebody ordered a larger one. It was like the 12 by 24 or whatever,
Yeah.
and I expected it to have some weight and heft to it. The thing weighed less than a pound. Like,
Oh, nice. That's
yeah,
even
it's
better.
really, really light, and they're
Oh,
really
good.
they come with these brackets that you can just hang them on your wall. You don't have to frame them or anything like. Because I noticed
Beautiful.
you have something in the background, right, Tyler?
Yeah,
Uh,
Tyler has.
Yeah, it's
are,
a
is it metal?
canvas.
Is it
No, it's
canvas?
canvas.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Don't ask him what plane it is. He has no clue. It's nothing.
Actually, it looks
Matter of
like
fact, that's probably going to be replaced by a lamb dog photo.
It
that would
should
be
be.
wonderful. I would be absolutely honored.
You know, so
So,
next, you know what? Keep watching the show. You never know what's going to
yeah,
be. If anything, I'm going to buy it for him and make him put it up there. He won't do it himself. So.
absolutely. No. So that actually took off, and United's been really good about letting me use these pictures.
Of
They
course.
actually ended up taking off once I announced retirement. So the
Awesome.
whole retirement, and because through the course of these years, I became United famous.
Sure.
You know, and so my exit from United um, was pretty overwhelming. It was 2 months of
Ah, I can imagine.
I had I had Oscar Munoz, I had Scott Kirby, I had all the VPs reach out to me.
Wow.
Thank you so much for what you've done.
Amazing.
It was absolutely incredible.
That's
Uh,
huge.
it was overwhelming though. It was after 2 months I would think I was ready. I'm like, okay, you guys stop, please. I need to go now.
Hey, so Lamb Dog, are you familiar with the term NFT?
Yeah, I'm just getting into crypto since I've
Look at
got
that.
retired. So, um, but I don't know how this would translate to my work. Um,
Digital stuff, man.
yeah.
Well, digital and physical,
Okay.
right? So, your metal, prints, or basically, it doesn't even matter the medium of which the
Medium,
art
yeah.
is. I think, and I think this is kind of where a lot of artists are getting it wrong. And in NFTs, they've been around for a while. They're just kind of now getting some attention. But
Yeah.
the ecosystem around the NFTs isn't where it's going to be in 5 years. It's gonna become a status symbol for people in their wallets. I kind of like, you're on what's it called, Venmo maybe. You kind of see
Yes.
that those
Yeah, yeah.
trend that social side of it type thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the NFTs are gonna kind of go that direction. People are that ecosystem is gonna build out. Now, where I think some artists have gone wrong with NFTs is they're creating a single NFT, a piece of art that is only an NFT, and then they're putting a huge price tag on it because that's what they think they're supposed to do with them right now.
Okay.
A lot of
Because they think they're
people,
Picasso or what?
I think because it's so, I don't know. I honestly
It's new.
don't know.
Nobody knows
Yeah.
what to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what you should do, my unsolicited advice.
No,
So I
seriously,
don't
I'm
mean
all
I
ears,
think
dude.
you should do something. If
No.
I was you, I would
There you go.
continue producing the art that I'm doing
Okay.
in all media forms and offer them as NFTs. So don't boost up the price. Say you're selling a print for $100, $1,000, $50. It doesn't matter. Just
Okay.
don't change the price because an NFT is associated with it. But sell the NFT to them, and then they automatically get that physical product as well, whether it's digital or whether it's canvas, whatever. Because where Lambdog benefits in 50 years, you'll be 100 years old. In 20 years
It could
is
happen.
you've got that contract. What's it called? Not a social contract.
You're
But
talking about through the
if
network.
It's the
Brandon
digital,
buys
yeah.
if Brandon buys a print off you for $100, and then in 10 years, say he wants to sell it for whatever reason, and he sells
And
it
the
for
value's gone up.
$150,
Yeah.
or even $1,000. It doesn't even matter. He could sell it for $40. It could quote unquote depreciate. You're still going to make 10% off of that transaction.
Yeah, down
Okay,
the
so-
road because of the
so-
NFT.
Yeah, our NFT, because I haven't delved into it too hard. I started getting into crypto 2-3 months ago, obviously with the whole Doge thing and stuff like that. So
Sure.
I've been really curious about the whole NFT process, and something that I haven't YouTubed yet, and something that I haven't delved. But I know that it is attached
Yeah.
to art. So
Primarily, yeah.
Yeah, primarily, yeah. So do these things tend to go up in value or down in value?
It's too early to tell.
Yeah,
Nobody
see, that's the
knows.
whole
And it's
thing.
irrelevant
Nobody
because
knows.
you're already
Yeah.
selling the product. Now, if Lambdog continues to grow and your work becomes known, and
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
even it doesn't even have to be. Say you sell 1,000 prints for $100 each, right, over the next
Okay.
couple years,
Yeah.
and let's just say 50 of those resell. Still, you're getting a piece of every transaction that takes place.
Yeah, because of
with them.
mining, what he's saying, every time that changes hands, you get a piece of that because it
That's
changes hands because of
crazy.
the mining
And-
process behind
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And it provides authenticity to that work that it's a Lambdog creation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like
think
it's
about
like a
it.
certificate of authenticity.
I really need to look into this.
in reality.
And
You
I
know,
like
and-
Tyler's approach to it is much more, I think, has much more longevity than selling the one piece for $50,000
Sure.
dollars
Well,
or whatever NFT value.
And if you're the first guy selling, or one of the first guys selling, aviation related
NFTs.
stuff,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you're in at the ground level and you're using the social media platforms you've already created to push those, and then you're selling them through Ethereum, so you're getting that as well. You're getting that benefit of a growing crypto.
Okay.
Like I think, for example, another way to look at NFTs too. I noticed you're a Tool fan, right?
You've done your work. You
Fuck
He
have
does
yeah,
his
dude.
research.
tool. Oh, yeah.
So listen, so you're a Tool fan, and let's say Tool's last show, right? It's
Okay.
they're going out tour,
Okay.
and you go to that concert. It's at the United Center in Chicago, and you've got that ticket. Or let's just say you want the first ticket. It's on you see on Craigslist. Hey, Tool United Center, 2005, whatever,
Yeah.
right? You want that ticket.
Yeah.
Well, in the future, there'll be NFTs associated with those tickets. So now
Yeah.
collectors of Tool can collect NFT related tickets, memorabilia, whatever. So I think this ecosystem grows dramatically over the next few years. It's hard to see where it goes, but the potential is unlimited.
The potential sounds like it's unlimited, absolutely, especially with, being Ethereum-based, blockchain, all. Like, it's something that I'd never even really considered
Well, it's not in our generational,
No, not at
aptitude
all.
yet.
No,
It
not at
really
all.
isn't. I mean, we remember rotary phone type of thing. I remember Tyler's a little bit younger than us, but he's about the same, within
Yeah,
that same plus or minus 5 years. So
yeah,
it's a anytime we're going from, and this is kind of what we're doing. We're going from a analog age to this digital thing. And so how do
hmm
we monetize it? What
How
can
do
we
we,
potentially figure out about this thing? So we go from
what
those paper tickets to this digital ticket.
what can I put out there with my art where in digital form
Oh,
that can
absolutely.
actually even get my name out there in a broader spectrum, but also be more profitable. I mean
Yeah,
that honestly selling my stuff like it's stock basically
correct.
or
They
crypto
have
and
shareholders.
And you
wow,
literally don't have to change anything except your process right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Except your process. Honestly, I
Well,
think I really, because it's my whole brain, like, okay, so that's basically what I've been delving into on a daily basis all day long. Haven't looked into the NFT part of it, but so this is something that my wheels are turning on this.
yeah.
So thank you
And
for bringing
I
this
mean,
up,
this
honestly.
obviously this doesn't have to be the last conversation regarding that. I mean,
No,
there's a
not at
lot of
all.
call on, and Tyler's definitely dove into this far greater than I have. But this all came up with the conversation between he and I and cryptocurrencies, and I had
Yeah,
invested in them years ago,
yeah,
and this another guy that we follow started talking about this NFT stuff, and we really dug into it. Since we're in this digital age, also, like, what
sure.
can we do?
Yeah, yeah.
He dug in, and he's got a lot of good information there. So
Oh, I'll
we can
check it
talk
out.
offline, online, all of it.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, thank you for that.
I told you, got a bunch of good
I'm
ideas, man.
telling you,
They're all
man.
in there.
Why
They're
have I
floating
not
in
been
there.
hanging out with you guys? What the what
I
is
don't
my
know.
problem?
Get your ass down to Florida, bro.
I
Yeah, well,
think
you
I
got to come
need
on
to,
down, man.
seriously.
We got a place for you to stay. It's all good. I mean, it's no Sweden, but
That's all right.
hey, bring her
Wow.
too. Anna needs to come visit.
She does. And you know what? Actually, Florida's a really big destination for Swedes. So,
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
You just
Disney.
gotta wait a few months to get down here in the fall.
yeah,
That's the key.
yeah, no,
It's
Ah, yeah,
getting
it's hot.
miserable right now.
ridiculously hot. Yeah.
Yep.
It is for sure. Yeah,
Good.
one of the guys up north, they put their especially Chicago, they put the motorcycles away because it's too cold during the winter. We put them away because it's too hot in
Yeah,
the summer.
exactly. No, seriously, and it's getting to that point now. It's like 85 and 85, and I know that's nothing to you guys, but that's
Yeah.
ridiculous here. So,
Oh, sure, sure.
yeah.
That's awesome, man.
You got my wheels turning, Tyler.
Good
Ah,
man. I love it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love it. I'm
absolutely.
glad.
Absolutely. I definitely want to touch base with you guys on this after I delve further into it and where this could go, at least in terms of Lambdog Aviation and Lambdog
I've got
World.
some more ideas we can chat about
Yeah,
offline after
yeah,
this.
yeah. I look forward to, man.
With that, is there anything that we maybe haven't brought up that you wish we would have touched on, or you wanna discuss?
No, no.
Do you have
I
any
mean,
questions for us?
I think we bounced around really. No, you guys have definitely put a bug in my brain about a few things.
I kind of want to do a follow-up show on how
Yeah,
you've
man,
developed your
definitely.
NFT program
Absolutely.
and for the artists out there and really kind of see where it can take you as opposed to the traditional, and I hate to say traditional because this is all brand new,
Yeah,
of just selling one piece like you're a Picasso
yeah.
instead of getting
Honestly,
into this mining issue.
no, with the whole crypto thing, especially over the
Yeah,
whole Doge thing. I mean, that's obviously what brought me in. But I think
sure.
we're definitely in uncharted territories when it comes to mass marketization for this.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's
so
exciting.
many noobs are getting in. So many. But it's also a very risky thing because crypto and stuff that it's seriously unregulated, and I'm seeing a lot of rug pulls, and I'm seeing a lot of on
Yeah.
some of these smaller coins. So, but I'm seriously like my brain now. I'm focused on NFTs, and I need to look this up and find out where I can go
He's
with
got
The
these
this.
good thing
notes
is,
now. You don't
Seriously,
know.
dude, you put
Around
me in
his monitor,
there.
there's a bunch of stickies going, oh shit, look, the
Totally.
NFT.
All
the
right, I
good
gotta
thing
do
is you're
this.
retired and you've got plenty of time
Exactly.
to
That's
Oh
learn.
yeah, all the
Yep.
time in the
yeah.
world, brother.
Nah,
Yep.
man. So thank you guys for this, man. Today was a good day.
Sure.
Dude, it was a pleasure. I had a lot of
Awesome.
fun.
Me too,
Awesome.
man.
And this won't be the
Cool.
last time. We want you back on for sure,
I
brother.
would love to be back on. Definitely. Let's keep in touch.
For
With
sure.
that, Lambdog Aviation podcast in the book.